Goeiemôre almal, baie welkom. Ons is onder nuwe omstandighede vanmôre. Ons raak al hoe meer fancy. Ons is nou in 'n studio. Very hearty welcome to all our viewers. Under new circumstances, we had a sale yesterday, and there was a lot of negative circumstances before the sale. And I think we're now in hindsight. I think we had a very good sale yesterday, and it was quite a large offering of 150,000 kilograms. And when I'm saying negative sentiments, we all know what is going on in the world at the moment with a war between Russia and the Ukraine, and the embargo of China against South Africa with foot and mouth. And also, we say it as a negative, but our currency, the rand, is quite strengthening yet in the last month or two. Since the first sale, the rand keep on getting stronger. And we were very fortunate that up till now, the first three sales, the price actually went up against the currency. Now, that was one of the influences yesterday. You will see later when we go into detail that the rand strengthened again. And I won't say that is the sole reason why the market came down yesterday. It is numerous reasons. I think the biggest one is cash flow. And when I say cash flow, you must remember that with the prices that they pay for Mohair at the moment, the total value of 150,000 kilos is here around about 80 million that people must fork out on a sale. That is quite different. Just a year or two ago, a big sale was 20 million. And what also happened now in China, where a large proportion of our Mohair, especially the adults going to China, it's got nothing to do with the embargo. You can export Mohair because all the Mohair is semi-processed here in South Africa, in Port Elizabeth and the vicinity around Port Elizabeth. So you can export tops. The biggest influence in China at the moment is the COVID pandemic in China, where a crucial harbor center like Shanghai is virtually closed because of that pandemic. Now, if you send your Mohair there, or the tops or yarns, and it can't be offloaded or it can't be delivered to the correct people, you don't get paid, because the processors here only get paid when their product is delivered. And that is what's busy happening at the moment. The other reason is that the cost of shipping and yet it skyrocketed, and the availability of ships and the availability of containers is really a problem. South Africa is not really on the main routes and shipping routes, and that cause scarcity in shipping capacity. And the wool industry and the Mohair industry, the citrus industry, everybody is really suffering because of that. And that's why the cost is also going up, and that cost must be paid by somebody, and at the end it boils down to the cost of a raw product. So in summary, that is what happened yesterday, and I think it's needed to explain that to understand the market better. If we go to our slides, the first slide, you will see there 1,205 lots were offered, which 1,130 lots sold. That's a clearance of 94%. I told the farmers beforehand that I phoned most of my clients and to tell them what I expect. I expect to drop between 2 or 3%, and that's more or less what happened. And the fact that if it's bigger than that, I will keep back the Mohair. and that we will move that mower because we've got different avenues of selling mower. I think the most important part is that the demand for mower is still excellent. It's got nothing to do with demand. Demand is still excellent. There's all those exterior factors that plays a role. So we will move a mower, and we will move it at a better price than the not sold price of yesterday's sale. So just keep faith, give me a little bit of time, and we will move it the 6% that is still not sold. If we look at the indicators and the movement there on adults, it came down with 5.5%. I also said in my pre-sale review that I expect the most downward pressure on the adults, where the big bulk is. Interesting enough, far finer than a year ago. A year ago, the big bulk was between 33, 34, 35 micron. Now suddenly the bulk is 31, 32, 33 micron. And that is where you've seen the big pressure yesterday, because there's the bulk of the clip is there. The youngers came down with 3.6%. That's mainly the group here, 29, 30 micron. That suffered a little bit. The finer than that did well. And there's a lot of young goods that's selling for 28, 27 micron, 26 micron. There was even young goods selling that was testing 23 micron in our bins. And the kids was not really influenced, came down with 1.6%, but there were some of the kids that actually went up, and some of the age groups came down. I know there was a lot of questions on the previous sale, where if you look at the specific microns, up till 24, 25 micron, the market actually came down on the previous sale, and we quoted kids up. But on kids, when we quote kids, we quote an average of all the kids, and as kids is not just fine kids. Kids can go up to 30 micron. So that was the the average, and the 27, 28 micron kids actually went up on the previous sale. So that's why the indicator went up. But it came down to 1.6%, but that is less than the exchange rate, so the kids is more or less unchanged. If you compare it to year to year, you'll see from a previous sale down by 3.5%, which is very much in line with the exchange rate difference. Funny enough, if you compare it with the same sale a year ago, we are 3% above the sale of a year ago. So that's also good news. Then the next slide, you'll see that is the one with all the microns, and the one that I prefer because it gives you a summary of what really happened on the sale. And when we quote the sale, we quote everything down, and the average down with 3.5%. Then you've got the impression that everything is down. But when you go into the detail, you'll see it's not all mower that came down. And I'm going to concentrate just on the RMS, because that is by far the majority of what was on the sale. On the previous sale, more than 90% was RMS. On this sale, it's somewhere in the 80%. But you'll see there that a 24 micron actually went up, a 25 micron went up, a 26 micron went up, a 27 micron went up. 27 micron actually went up with 4.7%. That's quite a big jump. A 25 micron went up with 4%. And for my field officers that I do yet a breakdown of microns per sale. Before the sale, I've told you, and I said there's not a lot of 25, 26, 27 microns on the sale. And that's a good sign, for a good omen for that specific micron group. and that is what happened yesterday. They actually went up in price. The rest of the microns actually came down, except the 35, 36 micron was more or less unchanged on the RMS, and there were no strong arrows on the market. No 37 to 40 unit micron. If we go to the next slide, you'll see the exchange rate. There, the US dollars yesterday was 14.51 compared to the previous sale of 14.71. The British pound strengthened, the euro strengthened, and the Chinese yuan was more or less unchanged. But that you see the rand traded over 2% stronger. But you must remember, on the first three sales, it also traded stronger. In total, more than 5% stronger this season. If we move to the next slide, you'll see there the indicator for in dollar terms, that's US dollar. It's still above $30 per kilogram, which is really, people, that is an excellent price yet for Mohair, and we can't really complain. Then we go to the slide that all the farmers like, and where we quote the highest prices per micron group. Then you'll see there in the 25 micron and finer group, the top three bales there was Kleine Boland boerdery from Aberdeen. Baie geluk Johan, ek weet, ek kon sien in jou skeersel, jy doen baie moeite met jou skeersel. Ek weet Chris Curtin en Petrie speel ook 'n groot rol daar by jou. En baie geluk, jy het werklik 'n puikskeersel voorberei. Jy het vir my in die winter gesê, wag, ek is besig om my skeersel reg te maak. Jy het sommer binne 6 maande het jy al die vrugte gepluk. It was also a very close call with Paul Webber from Grahamstown. Just 3 rand less at 780 rand a kilo. Paul, excellent bale. This bale, clean yield of over 90%, 23.9 micron. I didn't know between the two bales which one is going to be the winner. At the end there was 3 rand difference. It could be any other way around. It was really 2 top bales, and congratulations both of you. That is also the best prices of the day. And then we're in the third place, Paul Brooksma from Teerpits Farms, CC of also of Aberdeen. Aberdeen skeersels kom nou lekker sterk deen. Steer op aan 766 rand. Then the next group, the FK's, Leon Eybers, daarvan eintlik meer Beaufort West, meer na Rietbron se kant toe. Paul Brooksma again in the third place, and very proud of my bidding department, always in the top 3 prices. There at 690, and that 26 micron was actually for a young goat. We also had a 23 micron young goat in the bins, and that sold for 690 rand, and but it's not quoted because it's falling on the FFK grouping. Then your next group, if you look to on the next slide, Leon Eybers weer daarbo. Leon, baie goeie skeersel, jy het baie goed gedoen. And Paul Webber again, dan Duiwerivier boerdery van Willowmore, ook 'n nuwe naam daarin, baie goed, baie geluk. En jy kan sê ook in die volgende groep van jongbokke, tussen 29 en 31 mikron, weer Leon Eybers, Paul Webber, weer dinges daar, en dan ook die MZ's. The MZ's was on the previous sale as well. It's still a spillover on this sale, but even their spillover is good enough to be under the top 3 prices. If we move to the next slide, very proud of my bidding department. Baie geluk, Andrew. Andrew, en jy doen 'n baie goeie. Andrew Phillips is daar by ons al 40 jaar. Hy kyk baie mooi na daai bins. Ons het nie 'n beter kenner as hy nie. Ek dink wat ek vir mense altyd sê, hy mag dalk nie eerste die oggend na wees nie, maar hy sal op 'n Vrydagmiddag 5 uur nog deur sy bins gaan om te kyk wat sy bins netjies is. Jy kan baie gerus wees as julle sakke onder sy bekwame hande val. Dan Delport Broers, daarvan Oudtshoorn de Rust, uitstekende skeersel. Ek het julle eerste keer ontmoet daar op Jordy van Hassel se veiling, ramveiling vroeër vanjaar. Bly dat julle skeersel so goed doen. Die hele skeersel was baie mooi. En dan ook Paggasfontein boerdery van Vrysterburg. Dit wys jou net ons buitegebiede ook is ook onder die top 3 pryse daar. Dan die volgende groepering is jou 33-34 mikron groep. Dis maar alles groot bokhaar. Daar sal julle sien Paul Brooksbaar daar van Aberdeen het weer baie goed gedoen. Boeta Grobler daar van Maritzburg. Ja, lekker groot skeersel. Boeta het baie goed gedoen gister. En dan Delport Broers van Oudtshoorn en de Rust weer daar onder die top 3 pryse. En dan na die volgende mikrongroep, die 35-36 groep. Jy sal sien daar, kan jy self sien, Boeta Grobler weer daar in die eerste plek. Dan die manne van Kirkwood en Adelaide, wat daar die volgende 2 plekke, ding is volg, jy sê R390. Mense, om julle idee te gee, die R390 wat ons hier van praat, jou gemiddelde prys vir daai goed was hier by R370 rond. So R390 is ver bo kan die gemiddeld vir 34, 35, 36 mikron. So ek gesê, sterker groot bokhaar was daar geen groot bokhaar gewees nie. Dan by 'n interessante statistiek van die kopers. En julle sal sien daarso Mosen Falls, our oldest buyer, more than 150 years old. Not David Dell, he's buying us. Bought 11%. It made a huge difference. If you add the other buyers, except for 2 major processors that both bought between 50 and 36% of the market, you'll see there Stukken at 42% and Samuel at 56%. But if you take Mosen Falls and Soetwoele at 13, maybe 14%, and Cradock wool and Mohair, Alice played a major part yesterday. She usually buys between 2 and 3%. Yesterday it was more between 5 and 6%. It makes a huge impact, and put those smaller buyers together and they've got the same impact as the large processors, and we need them in the market, and they played their role in yesterday, and that's why the sale went well. Ken from New Zealand was a bit quiet, just over 1%. He said the mower was a bit expensive for him, but he also helped me to be on the top price of the day, the best bale of the day of all brokers. Dat of Kleine Boland boerdery, daar van Johan Lategan van Aberdeen. En ek weet Ken wou bitter graag daai bal gehad het, en hy het daar vir Ivan redelik gedruk wat die trane loop om daai beste bal te kry. Die volgende veiling met al die openbare vakansiedae wat voorlê, Paasnaweek wat nou net voor die deur is, sal eers op 10 Mei gehou word. Baie groot veiling. Yes, we're going to offer just as big offering as this past one, and I think the contents will be a lot of CD Mohair, so that will influence the average price. But CD Mohair is actually selling well, because it's quite substantially cheaper than clean Mohair. Somebody asked me, how do we work out what effect does the CD contamination have on the mohair? If you have a light CD, it's more or less 10% below the clean price. If it's medium CD, it's about 40%, you lose 40%. And then if it's a heavy CD, you lose about 70% of a value. But they are selling, and at least there is some extra weight in your clip. So we're also going to have an interview with Linsday. I promise you the past 2 sales already that we're going to have an interview with Linsday. She went overseas and do some very important work for us there. I'm looking very forward to chat to Linsday today. Good morning, Linsday. I've promised my viewers with a sale report for the previous 2 sales already that we're going to have a follow-up with you. You went overseas. Quite an important delegation. Who went overseas?
Yes, thank you, Pierre. It's lovely to be back. It's been a few months since I've been on your market report. So the delegation from BKB House of Fibre was our chairman of our board, our CEO, our CFO, Isak, for our managing director, and Christian and myself. So it was quite a delegation, and yes, we had a really jam-packed trip. We started off with 2 meetings. I think we ended up with 15 or 16 meetings in a few short days. So it was a lot to take in, a lot of information, but it was very exciting.
Where did you go?
We went to Germany and to France. We actually tried to get over to Sweden and Italy, but we couldn't at the time. But we did have other industry stakeholders actually fly in to meet with us where we were, so that was great.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yes.
Highlights of this?
I think if we think of our purpose of the trip, or certainly my end of the trip, it was to ensure that we're on the right track, and that the measurements we're putting in place and the new systems we're bringing in are in fact, they have a market, and it is what the brands and retailers want. We also had a lot of brainstorming around these tables, which was really fantastic. Is to, you get there with a plan, and you end up brainstorming and going in a completely different direction. And I just think that the bookends of the industry coming together around a table, in history that wasn't done very often. And just to sort of highlight areas of concern, highlight areas of collaboration, understand their sourcing methods in the future, the various standards that they are looking at, and what's to come. What is their 5-year goals, 10-year goals, and how do we ensure that House of Fibre is on track to meet all those goals and to sort of be first in mind?
I tell everybody that marketing of your product, in our case wool and mohair, changed dramatically after COVID. Is that still your opinion? That was the opinion around every table that we sat around, and we did meet with processors and spinners as well as brands and retailers and marketers of wool and mohair. And I think that we came back feeling really relieved that the way that we've read the market has been correct. And around every table there was this synergy about, things have changed and we need to all change with it. And the best way to do that is to do it together and keep open comms. We actually, during these meetings, realized we've got so much more to do together that we are really busy planning our next trip in June, July, which will be a much longer trip. And we will then also be planning workshops and some very exciting events in Europe at that time, where we can actually take these conversations further. I think our viewers will be more interested in the mohair side, yes. And especially after the drop of 3.5% yesterday, some of them might feel that this is the beginning of a downward trend. How was your feeling of what the demand for mohair is?
In many of the meetings we sat speaking obviously about wool and mohair, and there were brands that we sat with, luxury brands, that kept reverting the conversation back to mohair. Which was really exciting. We met with brands that have collections coming out that they say we're going to be completely shocked because they've never used so much mohair in their collections before. We've actually got a little sneak preview of some collections that are coming out, which is very mohair rich. So we've got a very positive feeling about mohair. And then also, I think what was super exciting is just we've never got that close to brands and retailers. We've always worked in the supply chain.
Yeah.
And to get the opinion of brands and retailers on what the mohair industry has achieved over the last 10 years, maybe even 15 years, was really heartwarming. And for the entire industry is that all the work that's been done by the industry collectively has not gone unnoticed.
I want to touch on that because I don't think the farmers realize that the work that was done by the industry,
yes,
it's really we are reaping the benefit now.
Absolutely, and I think the farmers and maybe even me myself, there were times that you questioned whether what the industry is doing is worthwhile, is it working? I can tell you sitting around the table that our end market was well informed because of what was happening, and they remember some details of some of the things that we did as an industry. That was really great to hear. It was great to hear that it didn't go unnoticed, and it certainly did position us to where we are today.
Then, Linsday, I also heard along the grapevine there's some exciting news that on the 22nd of April. It must be a good day. The viewers must remember that day and please attend that field day that we have in the Cradock district. And please confirm whether, if you want to come, with the numbers that we are fully prepared.
Yes.
I think there's going to be exciting things announced that day.
Yeah.
Do you have exciting news for us?
So I have been working on a few projects for the last year, and these projects do take time, and they're back and forth, and they're between countries, and there's a whole lot of legalities and NDAs between. But we are in a position where we have sort of got to the end of a very exciting project negotiation, and we are almost in a position to make announcements. We have all our approvals in place. We're now working through a legal team and a marketing PR announcement team, and we are very excited to make that announcement. I do hope, I hold thumbs, that we can get this all through by the 22nd. But if not, I would still be able to give the information maybe without the brand that's involved. But I'm going to, I think the brand involved is going to be watching this as well. So maybe some pressure to the brand to give me the go-ahead to actually make this exciting announcement. But I think it will be the first of support to our farmers in our country from an end brand. And I think this is the first of many. We are in conversations with a number of others. And I think that we are, as a team, we are nervously excited about what's to come because we've signed into something that's quite incredible and will be industry changing. So I look forward to talking more about that.
Congratulations, Linsday, that's groundbreaking work. That's the reason why we started House of Fibre, as I can't wait for the 22nd. I'm in trouble because it's my anniversary on the 22nd as well.
Okay.
So I'll spend my anniversary in Cradock.
Maybe Liesl should come with.
But that's too important day, and please, for all the viewers, you are invited. But confirm with Hardy in Cradock, our representative there, that you are coming on the farm of Fourie de Jager. You can confirm with Fourie as well. And looking forward to see you all there. That's all from me. Linsday, thank you for coming to visit us and keep us informed.
Pleasure.
I'll try to get one of the major Chinese buyers of mohair on the next auction and see what their opinion is. And then from me, goodbye and enjoy the rest of your day and keep on farming with Angoras.